Hey everybody, we're live at the store. Just got done filming with Jimbo. Yep, got a whole video done, a store tour that'll be coming out probably in who knows how far from now. But yeah, I thought I would do a live stream since I missed Tuesday. Hopefully you guys are piling in, we'll have some questions. And I don't do a mobile live stream very often, so I can flip the camera around and show you guys the store or Jimmy's face.
Nope.
I like to troll Jimmy. So. There we go. James Croney, the first one to make a comment. If you're local to the store, I'm glad to see this is now implemented. We've got some like recovery plants, buy two get one free at $4.99, so it's kind of $3.33 each. Not bad. COVID's been getting us. We're low on the brine shrimps and the jumbo bloodworms. So, Georgian Pets, you want a shout out? There you go, buddy. There's your shout out. Ooh, let's go into quarantine. I like being in quarantine. Because you can find stuff like Shodenai puffers right here. This guy will be coming out of quarantine and be for sale eventually. What else do we have that's cool? Got some peacock gudgeons.
Equus?
Oh yeah, the Equus. These guys down here will cost $1 million each.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice and big though, so that's cool. Those platies are kind of cool too. Is there anything specifically you guys want to see? New tech closet. They want to see expansion, that you said? Well, the internet's not good over there, so I can't really do it. But I can show you that this stuff is going to the expansion. We've got lots of stuff going to the expansion to have office for managers, to have the new Murphy camera. I guess we could show Big Murph. Yeah, his lights are going down, but Big Murph, this might be like the last time you're kind of on camera. Well, no, that's not true. I was going to say before you get your new giant tank. So the new giant tank could go in as soon as next week. And so this is 360 gallons. And it's 6 feet long and 4 feet front to back. The new tank will be 6 feet front to back and 10 feet long. And so this is 360. The new one will be 1,450 gallons. So quite a bit more. Yeah, unfortunately with the mobile stream, I don't have control over making it just members only or not letting people spam. So if you guys think this is too much, this is exactly why we control it a lot of times. So now you know. Let's see. We're going to Twin City Guppies, do a meetup, what, 2 weeks from now?
Yep.
You don't get to go. You already went.
Yeah. That video will be out this week.
Yeah, Sunday the video will be out. It's a heartwarming story. Hopefully it'll make you cry. Yeah, let's see. Trying to read some of the chat. Love Microsword. Me too. I'm bringing home Crips though. So I've actually got some products right here. I'm going to be filming a video probably tomorrow, bringing home some substrate because I'm setting up a new tank in my office. And then I've got a piece of Ceru stone, just grabbed a random piece, some root tabs, and a bunch of budget Crips. And I'm going to make a scape that hopefully looks cool. Otherwise, it'll never see the light of day. No, it'll see the light of day either way. All right.
That's not cool. We got a St. Patty's Day tank coming.
We do have a St. Patrick's Day tank from a different employee, Lizzie, coming out on Facebook next week. I think we're going to release it on Wednesday is what I was...
14th.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're getting multiple people making more stuff, which is good. So that way you guys can consume more content and the way you want. So like that video is kind of like there's no voice to it. So you can like lay in bed and watch it as you're trying to fall asleep. So trying to expand on, on every level, really. How's it going, Nick K? Can we see Guppies? We can see Guppies. We've got a few different varieties, but I'm trying to think. Yeah, right over here is the main Guppy tank. These guys were feasting on a lot of brine shrimp. Oh, this is mostly endlers here. The Guppies are going to be down another level. Right down here. Just doing their thing with the Monterey light, making them look extra good. I don't want to show all the coolest fish we had. I'm trying to think of. I'll show the candy stripe plecos just so that if you guys are local, you'll come buy them before I end up stealing them back for myself. They were right down here, I think. Right here? Yeah. Look at that guy. He's running. These candy stripe plecos are insane, though. I know the lighting's terrible, but yeah. They're so good. Any brackish fish? I don't think we have any brackish at all. Too smart for that. The Betta tanks. Eventually I'll do a whole feature on this, but we ended up making custom tanks for... We made 400 custom tanks for all these, so now the tanks are 4 times as big as they were living in, and lots of Bettas to choose from. So if you're looking for a Betta in your local, that's where you go. What was I going to show? I was going to show... I thought the Celestial Pearl Danios were looking extra good today. Look at these guys. They feasted on live baby brine probably an hour and a half ago with all the blue velvet shrimp.
The leucistic frogs.
Yeah, they're going to be... Where are they at right now? Yeah, these little leucistic African dwarf frogs.
And blue eyes.
So those are kind of neat. And then what else did I... Oh, the Galaxy Autosynclus were stupid cool. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to... Like, that just probably looks like a normal auto. I need them to...
It kind of looks like an auto with ick, but trust me, it looks really cool in person.
We got them on video, so watch it when we do the store tour, but they look way cooler. Like, way cool. Here's the coolest 3-gallon tank that we've seen in a while. Keep in mind, all of this is in 3 gallons. So you can see it's happy, it's purling. That's when the plants are giving off oxygen. And you can see that it's just like tiny. So that's a 3-gallon. The next thing over is an 18-gallon. Hey, David, thanks for becoming a member. Thanks to everybody that becomes members. Working on more stuff for you. Here's a 75-gallon tank. And this is, so to me, this is what people should strive for. A planted, just community tank like this, I think looks really cool. It's not very technical. You don't have to really know all the different types of things to scape. It just looks good. And that's my favorite type of planted tanks, honestly. What time zone will you be in Twin City Guppies? I don't know that. I feel like it's like, yeah, central and like noon till 6 or 7. I'm not sure exactly. Kind of like an all-day Saturday thing, like covering most of the hours, but I don't 100% know exactly, right? Does that make sense? It'll say on our website. And if it doesn't, yell at us, and then it'll say on our website. So, yeah, I don't know what else to show off. We've got artwork, got things like that up top, our hats and stuff. Is the 1 inch for 1 gallon ratio needed of the same? I think it depends on your skill level. So, if you're starting out, it's a decent rule. If you're if you've killed a lot of fish and learned how to keep them alive for a long time, I think you can get around that rule. I myself try to go pretty conservative just so that I can be super lazy. That's my game plan. Because I'm busy, I got to fly around, I got to work, I got to, do all that. And I don't want my animals to suffer for that. And so I suffer a little bit in that I don't keep as many fish that I want in a tank, but they tend to do better and they breed a little easier, I think. Yes, it's 9 p.m. If you're asking what time is it where we are right now, it's 9 o'clock at night. Worked a full day. Streamed earlier in the day for the members. Then we took a nap from like 5 to 6. I've been trying to take naps lately to catch up on sleep. And turns out, if you're rested more, you're more likely to do extra live streams and film more. Jimmy's only been trying to get me to film this video for probably like 4 months.
Longer.
Yeah. The last time I was legitimately like super sick and couldn't do it. And then it kind of just like fell off the radar over and over and over again. And so, yeah, now that we've kind of, Zenzo's in charge of kicking us all in the butt, basically his company is in charge of running the social media. And it actually works better when Zenzo is like, hey, you have to go do this. And then I go, oh, okay, I'll go do that. Instead of me having to call the shot, like, oh, we'll do it next week. Oh, we'll do it next week. And pretty soon I'm flying around and then I don't have time. So we will never open a store in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Thank you. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Never. Never get, well, I say never, but I did have a dream. I opened a store up where I used to work. And then I woke up and it was like, I actually thought about when I retire at 40, that's my goal, right? To be like, okay, everything's running itself. I was like, how awesome would it be just to open another pet store? Like, that'd be pretty cool, I think. And my goal would be to work in it. So if I picked like some super remote town where hopefully wouldn't get mobbed by fans and I could just be a normal pet store employee again, that would be kind of fun. Because I really do enjoy that, of just like the day in, day out playing with stuff. But I'm sure over time, I wouldn't let it be just that, and all of a sudden it would be, because obviously we'd sell all the Aquariumcoop stuff. It would just be another satellite store like this probably by the time I was done with it. Yeah. It's 1 p.m. in Singapore. Eat some lunch. Yeah. Let's see here. I've given you a fair bit of stick in the past, and I apologize. Yeah, reputations are built over long periods of time, and so I'm hesitant when I, see new channels, new people. You never know, like, what are their actual intentions. We get accused a lot of just like, you're only here to make money. I got news for you. Nobody's streaming at 9 p.m. on a Thursday just to make money, because there's no money to be made on that. So, we do need to make money because, like, Jimmy has got to pay rent, and Jimmy, has got to live, and so do I. But we could be selling like get rich quick schemes and that kind of stuff. And so we try to focus on like, just keep a good, honest aquarium and have fun with it. Do you think you'd be bored if I retired by 40? Definitely. And the best thing to get your butt in gear is to be bored. Like, oh, I'm so bored. And then you go do something. And so, yeah, the goal, when I say retire, it's actually to just not be bound by the current constraints I have right now, where I have to travel to this many events, I have to make sure the website runs, I have to make sure this many videos get made, I have to make sure like old things would have been like payrolls getting paid. We have an accountant to do that now, right? So it's mostly plugging in people to as many jobs as I do right now, so that none of them rely on me, and that frees me up to go, I'm going to spend, like coming up, we're going to spend 2 weeks in Germany just filming. That's hard to do if you have to, fulfill other things, right? So the more that I can free myself up, the more I have nothing holding me down, and I can go in any direction I want. And that's where I want to be, is just free from having to do a day-to-day grind. I don't think I'll work any less. I'll probably work more, but it'll be more freeing. Danikin Aquatics, I've had your email sitting in my email for like 2 weeks. I'm not 100% ignoring you. I just haven't had time to figure out if we're supporting that event in any way. There's an event going on in Oregon in October. It's the same time, albeit one of the Aquashellas most likely. And we're trying to figure out in what way will we support, or will we, like, I don't want to commit to anything yet, because I still am thinking, like, I don't like to just go like, here, have $12, see? We get our name on the board. I want to try and do something a little more meaningful. So, but yes, not willingly ignoring that email. I want to swim in the new Murphy tank. It should be big enough. When you map it out on the floor, it is huge. It's really big. And I'm actually afraid to move it. Right now, it was supposed to go in this weekend, but I can't get enough people to move it. We need 10 strong bodies to manipulate this thing, and it's a beast. And so what I'm actually trying to do is just pay the guy that built it. You wrangle 10 people, and it's on you if that thing crashes to the ground, because it's literally, between stand and tank, it's like $29,000 or something like that. And if one of my people, let's say Jimmy's got a corner, which Jimmy will be filming, right? But let's say Jimmy's got a corner of it, and it goes crashing to the ground, that's on us. Where if I'm paying a fee to the manufacturer to get it in the building and place where it needs to go, If they drop it, he'll have to make me a new one or fix it or whatever. It's actually such a big build. I'm actually worried that no one wants to eat a $30,000 mistake, and I would hate to have to go to court over it. And so I'm actually very nervous on that aspect of it, of like, just let this go easy. And I've been that way every time I've ever put in the biggest tank. When we put in the 360, when we put in the 800 gallon, every time, because it's always that leap for us. Like, this is the most expensive aquarium we've ever bought, and I would say it's the most expensive we'd ever buy, but I've said that 2 times already. So who knows if in another 8-10 years we're putting in just the even bigger aquarium, right? Because Murphy's getting bigger, or something, or Elmer turns out to be a female and is huge. So you got to do right by your animals.
Dean said if you could take any fish home today in the store, what would it be?
All right. So I'm getting hit with a lot of nostalgia in the fish, and right now all my attention is on a desk aquarium because I feel like I connect with that the most. And so, seeing how good the Celestial Pearl Danios look, I've never had them look that good in my own tanks at home. I've had them look that good here at the store, and people buy them, and I'm like, no, I was enjoying those. Because it used to be, and you guys may or may not know this, depending on how long you follow me, this used to be like my command post. Right here, I'm in the sales thing, and there'd be a little computer right here, and I would look at these tanks a lot, because I would be here 7 days a week, essentially. And so there'd be fish that you'd be sad when they left, and so the candy stripe plecos are kind of high on my list, but right now I don't have a display tank for those, and so I'm not going to take those. I really did fall in love with some orange flash cockatoides. I always, like, whenever I don't have them, I want them. Whenever I have them, I'm like, cool, they're breeding, whatever, and then I kind of get rid of them. But if I was legit taking something home, I think it would be Celestial Pearl Danios and cherry shrimp. Even though I have cherry shrimp, if I was going to take stuff home, that's what I would do. Have I heard of the Batik arowana? I feel like I've heard of it, but I don't know enough to really elaborate on it, right? So, yeah. And that sounds like a non-answer, but you hear about, like, oh, like when I go to the World Championships of arowana, you see 1,000 different arowana, and one said Batik arowana. That doesn't mean I learned about it. It just means I saw it. Like, oh, that's a thing. But there were so many arowanas that I saw, I couldn't tell you what, which one was which, really. How long will Murphy live? They can live like 30 years. And so, really, Murphy's going to live until I kill him. And that means that we had a horrible power outage, or we've done something horribly wrong, or someone poisoned him. And rarely do fish in anyone's lives live out their life to their full capacity. Most catfish, plecos, for instance, 30-year fish. Most people never keep them that long. Usually, we try our best. And, I do know a woman that, she, at the time she brought the fish in to be held while she was moving, their clown pleco was 27 years. So people can do it. But, I don't know if that was Murphy, like, breaking loose or what. He's like, I'm out of here. That's him killing himself right now. Like, oh, gosh. Yeah. I do want to say a shout-out to, in 2 more hours, Ryo Wintabi, who is one of my favorite fish creators. And that's saying something. He's doing a 100K live stream. That kid, well, I call him a kid because I've known him for a long time.
He's grown up a lot.
It's like 25 now or something, probably, right? But, yeah, support that guy if you're into planet tanks and you want to see someone. The best way I could describe it, and this might sound weird because you might not know who the other person is, but I feel like he might be the Serpa design or the Tanner of aquariums. Like, he's just so wholesome of like, look, guys, I'm doing something I love with all of his passion. And he gets a different vibe too, because right now he's in Japan, but he used to live in Singapore, and he'll go back and forth. And you get to see all kinds of crazy shops and different trends, and he's building a fish room that's much different than most people. So if you get a chance to chime in on that, or just go find Ryo Wintabi right now, click that subscribe button, check out his content later. I don't know why he's not more popular, and maybe it's one of those YouTube algorithms isn't helping him, but man. Dean and I can't wait, and Dean was talking about this even last Friday. He's like, where I want to go? I want to go to Japan, because Ryo will show us all the cool stuff, and I agree. So at some point, we'll need to go to, we'll need to go visit Ryo. We just sent him some sponge filters.
That just messaged me and said Murphy's hungry.
Murphy probably
I
is
guess I
hungry.
didn't feed him before.
Yeah, but he's got a giant belly on.
Yeah.
So he probably is hungry, though. I would like to talk to you about some business. Well, if it's like has to do with like selling stuff, you can send an email, and if it works its way through the chain, like through customer service, and then it might hit like director of operations, and then if they think it's good, it'll hit me. If it's advice on, maybe your business, you can try on the Corey McElroy channel. But I don't do I haven't done this in probably like 6 or 7 years now. Any one-on-one consulting. I just don't have time. Like I don't have enough time to run my own business, and so helping people run their businesses doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I fill what's supposed to be my free time with that business channel because I enjoy it. And usually what I'll do is I'll stream over there and address someone's question when someone else cancels an appointment or something goes wrong, because my days are pretty structured. And so if no one cancels, I don't have any free time. What's my favorite kind of fish? I love smoked salmon. Tasty. Corey has amazing gatekeepers. They basically get paid to, because they know, right? And they know that if I come to the store and I'm with fans and I hang out, I'm not shooting the video, and then Jimmy doesn't get to do his work, and then we don't have a video on Sunday, right? And so everyone's kind of my keeper. My wife makes sure that I eat. And if you guys saw me at like Aquashella, you're like, that guy is a machine. He was there from 10 a.m. till 9 p.m. and I had one like 12-minute break to eat 3/4 of a cheeseburger. And no, that's not true. I had one other break where I went pee once, right? And so I'm really dedicated to making sure I do my best. And I let like kind of whatever business or whatever work gets in front of me, I just tackle it. And so if the wrong work gets in front of me, what do you mean you spent all day playing with aquariums instead of, doing X, Y, and Z that had deadlines? So who's with me right now? Jimmy's here with me because we had finished up filming, and he was like, I'll stay 5 minutes. And he's fallen in the same trap I, like, oh yeah, it's 5-minute conversation. Pretty soon it's been an hour and a half, right? Dylan's flying in to pick up some fish. Good. There's a lot of cool fish here right now. Yeah, a lot of cool locally bred stuff, as well as not wild caught, but just, yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy it. I'm excited when the store will be 3 times as big, because I feel like that's a better reason to fly in. Chattanooga Ed's here. Hey, how's it going? Omar says, hey, Jimmy. That's right. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else. Brine shrimp, we've got it. What else we got going on? What else do you guys want to know about? I ran an event for my nonprofit last week. Yep. Events are brutal. I'm actually looking for shoes that are going to, spend so much time on the concrete floor that, your calves start hurting. And by day 2, your back's starting to hurt. And for me, it's not great when you do those back-to-back days, and then you hop on a plane, and then you're like, ugh. And yeah, it's a 6-hour flight home, so doable. But are you finding clams, Jimmy? Is that what you're doing?
No, I just gave him 2.
Is he going to eat more? We can feed him on camera if he's going to eat more.
He's currently eating now.
All right, we'll feed Murphy a little bit, because we haven't done that. Normally I used to do that all the time, but we didn't even do that in this video. So we'll do it live. Hopefully he'll eat with the lights out. Yeah, there you go. Oh, what a savage. So we buy clams from the store now because they have thicker shells and they're dual-sided to help grind his teeth down, because he's just such a beast.
They're so big.
These take him a little while to crack. Someone said, you should be thawing those for ladybird. No. We want them as hard as possible to work the teeth. Yeah. Now, what you don't know, because I've done this in the past, I've bought clams like this that are too thick when I had Hank, my first moo-moo puffer. Yeah, that's why we got to have other fish in there that'll polish off what he doesn't eat. But frozen like that, when you hit him with the hammer bounces off. But his teeth create that pressure point and can kind of break through. You gonna do it, Big Murph? We want to hear that crunch, buddy. Oh. Yeah. The raw power there is amazing. Yeah, the rummy nose in here look pretty good. Yeah, we put an auto feeder on to feed the rummy nose. So we've got Aquariumcoop auto feeder right there, right? And then we've got these guys that churn the substrate, the Juraparis. And then the plants filled in really nicely. Like they're legit. I remember at the beginning I was really worried that they wouldn't fill in like they have. And yeah, we actually need to do some trimming.
They do look like trees.
Yeah, I told you. Yeah, in the video, this little moss is doing this. Looked like trees in the background. I wish I could have intentionally created that, but yeah, Murphy, just wait. We're only probably a few weeks away, and your tank gets 5 times as big, 4.5 times as big. So he'll probably still sit just in this corner, but hey, that's what he's used to. Someone asked if we had a roseline shark breeder. We don't have a current local one. So if you're breeding roseline sharks and they would be of equal quality or better quality and same price or cheaper, some kind of reason to deviate from our normal supplier, then we might be interested. All right. What's my thought on mixing discus? We mix discus all the time. We personally don't have many problems, but some people would claim that that's a no-no. Let's see here. What's a nice centerpiece fish for a nano tank? Do we have honey gouramis?
We just got some yesterday.
Are they in quarantine?
There should be. Oh, there's some in here.
Do we have some? Yeah, sunset honey gouramis. So I'll show you. That's what I loved about doing at the store is I can go, yeah, this fish I'm talking about right here.
And Lucas wanted to see the goldfish.
Okay, I can show Lucas goldfish. So these guys are pretty much full grown, and they're, so if I put my finger for like size reference, they're not that big. These are, in my opinion, a great nano showpiece fish. I like gouramis in general for showpiece fish, but yeah. And then the goldfish tank, the 90-gallon cube. Some big chunky monkeys in there. A little bit further proof that you can have plants with goldfish a lot of times. There's some that are just stone cold, plant eaters, but yeah. This tank I'm actually going to replace. So what I'm working on, and you guys can be the first to know, what I'm working on is trying to figure out a way for myself and Custom Aquariums to work out a deal so that we can sell their tanks in our retail store. And so I want to replace that with like a 65-gallon that looks nice, so people can wander in the store and go, "Wow, how do I get that dark walnut, wood cabinet that looks like this?" And I can get it in any size and all of that. They're expensive, there's no doubt, but I wanted to show I was gonna basically it started. I wanted an aquarium for our bedroom because through the winter with the central air system, we never had central air before. We're drying out basically. It's like super dry in our house, and so I can put the money into buying a humidifier for our furnace, or I can put in some more aquariums. I'm like, hey, I like aquariums, so I'm going to put some aquariums in, but I want to put nice decorative pieces in that, like a piece of furniture basically. And so I thought, okay, well, if I'm going to do that, maybe we can work something out, and we'll see what we can come up with, right? I don't want it to be like I'm going to buy them. I don't want it to be like, oh, I'm sponsored by them and blah, blah, blah. But I want to show you guys, seeing them at the shows, and I do like the quality. I've just never had a reason to buy one yet. They've wanted to work with me for many years, and I go, well, I just, they're like, well, let's build you a big tank. And I go, well, the tank I'm building is 1,450. Oh, we don't do them that big, right? They'll do pretty big tanks, but nothing that big because they work in class. So I've never had a reason to kind of work with them. But knowing that I want a nice thing that'll fit the aesthetic of my house, I have lots of dark woods in my house. And then I want to put one here so that people can go, oh yeah, I want a tank just like this. And they're much higher quality than like an Aquarium tank. You can get black silicone. The stands are actual wood and not just like pine, right? But they cost insane money, right? And that's the thing of like, this is a showpiece for your living room that you're like, wow, with shipping that was like $2,000 for a 65-gallon aquarium, and they're not even trying to compete with like a 65 with stand and all that being like $1,000 from Aquarium. Build quality, night and day difference. They're custom, the exact size you need. If you need a tank that's 38 inches instead of 36, they do all of that, right? So we're going to see if we can make something work out for both of us, really. I've talked to him on the phone once so far, and I think to get started, I want about 3 tanks, one for the studio, one for my bedroom, and one for the store. It's going to cost me a lot of money, though, but I want to buy them so that you guys know that I feel like when I purchase them, you guys know I'm not just saying good or bad things because they told me to do that. If I pay my own money, I'm not beholden to, well, they gave them to me and I want to get more free tanks, so I better say they're good. Instead, I would rather be honest and go, I love this part. Yeah, I could have done better on that. And, be truthful. So, because it's an expensive purchase. It's not cheap. So if you're looking for that higher end stuff, maybe look into custom aquariums. And I would say wait to see what, like, because I haven't actually had one yet. I've seen them at shows. I assume their best work is at shows. I want to see what actually shows up in my driveway, for instance. Will cuckoo catfish eat snails? Not in my experience. Let's see here. Is it? No, it's not. I was like, is it Friday? I was like, I lost a day? No, it's Thursday. It's Friday where you are. Good to know. I recently got some crims from the coop. One shipped. I'm guessing there's more coming. Hopefully I'll see the next statement on that. I want to get like a 55 with a ton of Val and Neocardinia maybe? Yeah, that's one of my favorite tanks. I love, if I have my way, you're just going to see like 20 aquariums in my fish room with nothing but Vallisneria. Vallisneria, too good. It's the Mexican food of aquarium plants. Delish. Why does my Faka Puffer only eat clams? He's probably used to that. They get into routines. You can try, like some of the stuff we tried in the past to get our fish off of it is take half shells, right, and fill it with Rapashi. And then he eats that like a clam, and that can get some more vitamins in him. You can try cocktail shrimp. If they'll start eating cocktail shrimp, you can butterfly them, put pellets in the back, and they'll start taking some pellets. You basically just got to keep working on it. It's not easy. If you're feeding them caviar every day, they're used to eating that as opposed to going, well, I'll eat something else in a pinch. And so you got to work on it. That's what it comes down to. Robert's tank? Yeah, we showed it a little bit earlier, but I can show you the tetras that are there. They are, let's go over there. They're diamond tetras. Diamond tetras aren't for everybody. They're really rambunctious. They look amazing, but I'd say 1 out of 3 customers return them. They're like, I didn't realize they were going to be so, they call them aggressive, but so active. But they look amazing, and they have all these diamond scales to them. You can see them hit the light and shimmer. I would do a display tank of these in a heartbeat. They're so good. They dominate the food, though. Great fish. Great fish. Just don't mix them with lots of other stuff because they can outcompete them for food and other things. But great fish. Do we ever import goldfish? Yeah, we've done that quite a bit in the past. And right now, we basically buy them from a wholesaler, so we're not necessarily importing them ourselves anymore. Basically, when tariffs happened, that's when it got really expensive to bring stuff in from China. And then COVID happened, right? And so then shipping got crazy expensive on airplanes. And as that basically doubled and tripled the cost of some of the goldfish. And so unless you're doing it on massive, massive scales, it didn't work out where it's like, okay, now it's $200 a goldfish, right? When that fish should have been like 80 to 100. And so when we buy from our wholesalers, they're buying in massive quantities. They can help keep that cost down. And so when it goes back to not being artificially inflated from some of these things, we'll probably start bringing them in ourselves. Plus, when the store gets 3 times bigger, we're going to have way more quarantine area. So we've had, one of the things over the last 8 years at the store, we're getting more and more popular and busy and all of that. And so we sell more fish, right? So if it used to be we sold 20 neon tetras a week, now we're selling 200 or 300 a week. So that means we have to quarantine more, and we're running out of space. And so with more space, quarantine more, and goldfish take a disproportionate amount of quarantine space. We have some in quarantine right now, in fact, but they usually take a little more TLC than your average tetra. Can we turn the Murphy cam a little bit to the right? We'll try to have someone dial that in. It's real easy for a customer to bump it or us to bump it when we're catching a fish. The whole goal of the new big tank actually is going to be mounting a very nice camera from the ceiling, pointed at the Murphy tank to really get a good shot for everybody. And then we're going to figure out how to basically have the best aquarium live stream on the planet. We're gonna put like a $5,000 camera on it. It's if it works out the way I want, Jimmy will be proud of it. He's kind of got unlimited budget to help me get that thing dialed in with a great lens, make sure it's got a great view. Because right now, the camera we use right now, that was started when I started the store, and I barely had 2 nickels to rub together, right? So it's like, okay, $80 for this camera, okay. And then a couple years later, I bought the most expensive version of that, and it was like, okay, that's like $150. And here we are 8 years later, and like we've set a new record that I didn't realize till now. We've got 1,889 people watching, right? Because you're all watching, that now gives us 3 nickels to rub together, and those nickels can buy a better camera so that you guys can get a better look at Murphy and things like that. And so, we're fortunate for that. Where are our cichlids? We carry, things like apistos and stuff like that, but not really any African cichlids. It's kind of a different clientele, and what I don't want to compartmentalize the store employees. So I don't want it to be like, well, you got to come back on Friday because that's when Jerry works, and Jerry is an African cichlid nerd, where I'm the plant nerd, and then you got someone else who's a shrimp nerd. I want it so you can talk to any employee, and they know a lot about all the fish we have here, and for the most part, most fish can go together. There's obviously some exceptions, like you just showed that we shouldn't put the diamond tetras with other stuff. There are stuff, but in general, our ethos is everything that can kind of live with plants, we're willing to try. And yes, African cichlids can live with some of the plants. I get that, but you have to draw the line somewhere. And we tried African cichlids in the past and just diluted. It diluted having a great selection of community fish. And so we're going to keep focusing on that. And I think, if you're into African cichlids, go find a great African cichlid store. I used to run one. We had 300 tanks, and 280 of them were nothing but African cichlids. So we had lots. You're like, oh, you have 5 different types of frontosa right now. You have 2 different types of lulupi. You've got cyprichromis. You've got all these peacocks. You've got different Malawian cichlids. Had it all, right? But find that store if that's what you're into, and they'll serve you better than we will be able to. Are we hiring right now? I don't think so. We just hired on, I think, like 3 people in the last couple of months or something like that. That being said, we do try to work through applications. And so if you submit an application and someone in the hiring team, which we have like a hiring team now, how crazy is that? When someone in the hiring team goes, wow, I think this person, there's something special about it, they'll set that aside knowing when we do hire someone, let's reach out. So I know we just brought someone on that we originally said, we filled the position with a couple other people, and we reached back out and we said, actually, now we do have a position open. Are you interested still? But there are people that we look at, the team, and like, they're not a right fit for us, and we just move on because we get a lot of applications. So I guess what I'm saying is submit an application. You can submit one to careers@aquariumcoop.com. We post our listings on Indeed, and a lot of times we'll post it on a community page on YouTube as well. But we go through hiring cycles. Like right now is the ramp up season, where summer's like the ramping down season, not as busy. And we make no promises though, because a lot of applications. When you get a lot of applications, it means a lot of people are really good. You might go, wow, this person's been doing X, Y, and Z for X amount of years. They know this, they know that. but maybe they're not willing to move or something. Who knows? Let's see here. Love seeing me in the store. I don't get to be in the store. I haven't been in this. I honestly haven't really been in the store like this for probably like 4 months. It, when you kind of build well, I've got 69 aquariums in my own studio. Like I've got enough to take care of. I don't venture out because it's like, oh, I got to take care of 69 aquariums. I got to do live streams. I got to film. I got to run a company. And that's why I say if I was to retire, I do miss uh, the like just being in a fish store, because there's something magical about just being in a fish store. And you've got, I was reading an article. I think Candy found this article, and I don't even know where, but it was they'd interviewed me a long time ago or something like that, and they were talking about how one of some of my favorite customers were a family that were bringing in their son, and he had some challenges with him, and they used our store, and I'm sure lots of other stores too. So it's not like just our store, right? But what I remember about it is that they would come and they would look at all the fish, and they had a fish tank that had dwarf frogs in it. And they couldn't leave until the son could get up the courage and say the words like, "We need froggy food." And that happened every week. And it was like every Sunday, like clockwork. And, that child was so like into the aquariums, and they were able to use it to help him get past his problems. And I don't even know what the problems were, right? I just know that either it was like developmentally delayed or maybe a speech problem, something about it. But that was one of my favorite interactions week in, week out. And there was lots of stories like that. And you don't get that in the online realm. Like we do get letters, and that's super cool. We respond to those and all of that, but you don't get that weekly connection. And so, yeah, being back in a store is super fun. And I want to be in a store where I'm just an employee, not, oh my gosh, it's Corey from Aquarium Co-op. Just like, excuse me, sir, this fish is amazing. What can you tell me about it? That is what I want. I want that interaction back. So Candy says she found it on the Edmonds Facebook group. So we're in Edmonds. There's a Facebook group, and yeah, cool to see that they were talking decent of us. Yeah, I've still got many friends that I've made at the store. A lot of them are now employees, but the store was always a good source to make friends because you already know they're into fish, right? So they already understand how you're crazy and you got a fish room. But like without the store, I probably would have never met Dean, right? And Dean is a friend more than just fish. Like, don't get me wrong, we do a lot of fish stuff together, but he's a cool person to know even just outside of that. So let's see here. Are plants sensitive going from soft water to hard water? In my experience, no. So we order tons of plants from farms in Florida and around the world. They're usually in super hard water there. They land here in very soft water and don't have a problem. And then vice versa, when I take plants from here to my house where I run a well, very hard water, I don't see any extra melting or any extra challenges than I did when I went from soft to soft or anything like that. So I don't notice any extra challenges, but there might be some that I'm not privy to. I need oil cats in my life. Oil catfish are super cool. Tangerine catfish. I haven't seen them in kind of a few years. They never sell well, but I think they're super cool. I agree. How good of friends are you with Rick Steves? I don't think I'm friends at all. Unless that like is the other part of Extreme. I'm trying to think of Rick Steves. Normally I'll Google on my phone, except I'm doing this on my phone. So, yeah, I don't think I'm that good of friends. Unless I'm just like totally having a brain fart and be like, oh, that Rick? Of course. But, yeah. Apparently I should be doing some late night live streams because we now have 2,126 people. Who knew that Thursday night was the hotness? Any idea when you'll get new moss in? Kind of got cut off, says I just don't like. So mostly we're just doing job moss. We've had a really hard time getting any mosses in. Again, COVID, everyone uses that excuse. But the reality is what used to be like a a $1,200 flight to bring stuff in from overseas for plants is now like a $3,000 flight. And so it kind of got cost prohibitive. And until that remedies, we're not getting a whole lot. I'm a fan of keeping nitrates. All right. And one day I would. I don't know if this app is cutting it off or if YouTube is cutting it off. It might be this app that's cutting it off. Uh-oh. Yes, Troll Girl, I don't think Corey remembers who he is. Now I gotta...
He's a travel guy that lives in Edmonds. He's big time famous.
Okay. And am I friends with him? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think I'm friends with that guy. Yeah. I never know who anybody is. Like I'm like, I don't know, I obsess about very few things. So before fish, it was basically gaming, you know, Magic the Gathering and World of Warcraft or EverQuest. And so all my attention goes to so few things that stuff goes on all the time and I'm not even privy to it. I'm worried about like what's going on with my aquarium and I better fix that and I better film that. Do I have any issues with nitrates in my well? I get about 5 parts per million, which I consider to be a bonus. So I like that because it feeds my plants a little bit. I still have to put in Easy Green on top of that, but I like having a bit of it in there. So if you got way too many, though, I could see that being a detriment. I would still find a way to work around it. But yeah, Jimmy can see the chat, right? He's not blind. Yeah, he's sitting on the floor. We should have 1 million subs for real. We could if we did different content. Our goal has always been to educate and attempt, because we don't always deliver, attempt to bring value in everything we do. There are ways to game algorithms and things like that. You know, like for instance, showing, and we've done this in the past, so I don't want to be like, oh, we would never do that. We learned. This is how we learn these things. Showing fish dying, for instance. Very good at getting views. Not very good at promoting the hobby. Not really that good about, teaching people. I'd rather teach them before the fish die, right? There's lots of ways to game the system and create outrageous stuff and that. And we try not to do that. And we try to focus on how do we do the next thing that will help someone. And, and you could argue our top 5 is really helping people. Well, people ask for them. And so I think they are helping a little bit, right? But like the video on Sunday, this is more of what I want to do. I want to do more of what we're doing on Sunday. So like the Ocean Aquarium video and then this video on Sunday, we're basically highlighting a competitor, if you will, right? Another fish store. And like the Bad Fish store. Basically, I want to go around to mom and pops. I want to hear about their story. I want you guys to learn about it. I want you guys to then go and support it, right? So, because I feel like when you learn the behind-the-scenes story of the struggles and all of this going on, you go, wait, they're just down the road? I could help support them. And if we're selling our products to them, you can buy a bottle of Easy Green from them. They'll make money. We'll make money. And it all works out. And so I really want to do more of that, and I hope it works out to be good enough, right? And not so that, our channel's dying because we're trying to support other people. I think you guys enjoy it as well. And as long as we're picking the right people, right? You can obviously do it 2 ways. Like there's people that'll reach out and be like, we'll pay you a ton, we'll fly you out, we'll do all of this stuff if you'll come and film here. That's almost like the reason to not go do it. We want to find the people that are good-natured people. They're struggling. We could help them. They need help. Why not try to do that? And so, that's why we sent Jimmy out a few weeks ago. He went and filmed. We'll be back out in a couple weeks to do a show with him.
Yeah, please go watch that video.
Yeah, it's on Sunday. It'll come out on Sunday, and it's not a sensational video though. Like it's gonna hit you in the feels. If you watch it, you're gonna be like, wow, these people, again, are the American dream. I feel for them. I want to help them. They love this hobby. This is the definition of a mom and pop store that should be supported in this hobby. That being said, it's not going to be the end-all be-all video where it's like, look at this 1,450-gallon aquarium with this giant puffer that'll eat your face off, right? So, yeah, it'll mean a lot to us if you guys watch it and you leave a comment and you share it and leave honest feedback. If you guys really hate it, let us know and we'll figure out how to make it better. But it's one of those things. I watched the video several times. I've had my hand in it going, this is really good. This is really what I want to be doing as a company. And I think everybody that works on these projects, like these ones, really mean a lot to us. Where, like, okay, a top 5 or something like that, like, yeah, we have to do our work. But this is the type of work where it really has meaning. And we know that if we do a good job, we're going to affect the lives of a whole family. And they're a big family. So we really take that seriously. We hope you guys will too. And it's really humbling to come back and go, wow, business has turned around. Lots of people are coming. Lots of people saw that video. Thank you so much, right? It's really good to see that. And then also, you guys get to see, like, this store is only going to be local for a handful of you, right? Like, okay, it's one state out of all of them. So 1 out of 50 people are going to be like, hey, I could go to this store, right? But as we keep covering more and more, we're more likely to unearth these stores that need help. And there's a lot of good stores, and there's stores that don't need help that are really good too. But there are also these really good stores that just they're like right there. They're almost over the hill where they could keep, some really good stuff going. And I think we can apply that little bit of pressure of like, if you just go in and you buy, and we don't realize sometimes that if I just bought this from here instead of there, even though it's the same price, that pays their rent this month, right? Whereas maybe here at Aquariumcoop, we're going to make it either way, right? We're going to make it either way. If none of you ever shop with us, okay, then we're going out of business. But we can peel off some of you guys to go help someone else. And, eventually we think it'll come full circle. Well, they'll be helping us. And we've got a lot of local stores, not local stores, but, well, local to you guys, right? A lot of stores around the country that will play our videos in their store and they'll recommend us. And so one of the ways that we can help give back, because we know that if your local store goes, hey, watch this video on algae, there's a chance you guys come and buy from us and then they don't get that sale and that hurts them. So we want to try to start uplifting these stores one by one, slowly and steady, and not just, blanket the whole thing and just do it for the views. We're actually trying to do it so that we get genuine response for these stores. And so that's why we're also flying out. So there's going to be a video this Sunday. And then the following Saturday, we're actually doing an event there. We're going to give stuff away, right? If you remember, you get sweatpants. There's going to be a discount there. There's a meet and greet. All of that stuff's going on so that hopefully you guys will come to the store. You'll see how amazing the people are. I've known them for a long time. They used to help us at shows. That's how I knew about them before they opened their store. I've bought from their online store before, and I've stayed at their home before. Back when we were a small team, Jimmy and I slept on, their floor and their extra bed and that kind of stuff to shoot videos, right? Back when we used to travel the country in a van that was kind of ridiculous. But, and so we try not to forget where we came from, and we want to help people get to where we have been able to go. It's not just us and push the other people down. It's instead reach down, try to pull them up with us. So I hope you guys watch it. Hope you like it. And I hope it does well. We're really hoping because it makes no financial sense. We've spent a ton of money buying plane tickets and doing all of this. And if no one watches it, it's really like, oh, that's a gut punch. But if it does well, then it's like, okay, you guys watched it. Your ad revenue pays for it. We can now lift another store down the road. We'll find another one. And maybe we do one a quarter, right? Like every 3 months, we find another great store. Let's lift them up. And not that everyone's going to go from not making it to making it, but maybe they're going from making it to really making it, right? We just find another good candidate. So, all right. Any ideas for a 50-gallon? Yeah, do Congo Tetras. I don't think I have any in the store right now, but man, they are on my short list for any tank that's like 50 gallons and up. Hello, Nahid. Since international shipping has hit a snag, any chance? Ooh, I swear this app's cutting it off. I've got feedback for the developers of this at YouTube. But the latest update I got on Monday was integration is moving. So it's like, okay, this is looking good. And if it gets to a point where we can start testing, we're gonna have Randy start that in a couple of weeks. So we could be shipping to Canada as soon as like 10 days from now. That being said, it could also be 10 months. But finally we're getting progress where they're going, ooh, we think we're going to have this part ready for you to test in a few more days. We were used to getting stonewall of, nope, we're working on it. And that's the biggest thing I think we can do right now is get international shipping going. So we're full steam ahead, really trying. It'll be the thing that either takes us to that next level or sinks us. We'll figure it out here in about, we'll know in 6 months. Can you breed CPDs, clown killies, and hillstream loaches? If that's in the same tank, you'll probably struggle. All of those are breedable. Killie fish, the clowns being the easiest. I've bred hillstream loaches if you have a bunch of rocks so the eggs can fall down in. I've bred them that way. Even in the 800 gallon with clown loaches and things like that. CPDs, usually they'll prey on their own babies, so you have to keep moving moss or whatever your spawning medium will be. Will I be visiting Hong Kong again? I sure hope so. Hong Kong's a fun place to go. I really want to get back to China and Hong Kong in general, and usually I pair those together because I'm closer, right? Like to me, it doesn't make sense to go to one and not the other if I can. But yeah, I haven't been in a few years, and so I really would like to go back. I'd like to film. One of the biggest things I really want to take Jimmy because I know his camera can do what my camera never could. And so we're hoping, lots of stars line up and the world opens back up and we can show some of these things again. And, I don't care who you are. If you ever get a chance to go to the Hong Kong fish markets, China fish markets, Peru, Thailand, all these places, if you're a true fish person, you look past everything and you just go, wow, this is amazing. And we get to do that. We're lucky we get to film it. We can bring it to you and you get to watch it on your couch. But it's still 10 times cooler in person. You're going to see things that you can't see on camera. Corey, you keeping any Goodeids or care species? Yeah, I've got tequila sunrise Goodeids. Technically, things like white clouds are care species. I've got those. I don't have as many as I used to. But in general, I just keep what I like, and I'll keep them for a time, and then I pass them along. I'm sure there's other things that are technically on that list that I have, but I'm not really super hyper-focused on it. We're at 2,482 people. I wonder if we can hit 2,500.
I don't think it's...
Is this not true?
No.
Oh, is that just views, maybe?
Probably.
What are we?
I'm saying 674.
674. We're never doing a nighttime live stream again, ever.
I was like, what is he talking about?
Man, this thing's just fooling me. That's no wonder I can keep up with the chat. Maybe that's my new thing. I'm just gonna randomly be like, wow, 17,000 viewers, and then we'll start rumors on accident. Yeah, it's my app trolling me. What is a care species? So a care species, in a very simplistic term, is usually a species that is threatened, extinct, or endangered in the wild. It's been identified as that, and usually it's on the red CITES list. There's basically, it's like a breeder program called the CARES, right? And the goal is to get something that's either going extinct or is extinct, breed it, and share it with other people to make sure we don't lose it fully, right? And so something like a white cloud is probably always going to stick around because it's just a really easy to breed fish. And then there's fish that are like, that thing's not very cool or very cool looking that will go extinct if people don't keep it going, right? And there's people that dedicate their whole fish rooms to that. Where I try to keep the ones that I like to keep, and then maybe I'll do a little bit of oh man, this is pretty boring. Usually my goal whenever I get a fish is to make some more to pass along to somebody. So my goal is if I can make more than I've consumed, I've done a good job, and that's just how I feel. Have I kept biters? Yeah, I do like them. We've got some for sale in the store here, actually. I used to be a monster fish keeper, so way back in the day before I ever owned a store, hung out on monsterfishkeepers.com. That's why I love Mabu puffers, because they're giant, and I've kept lots of other very large fish. I don't like aggressive fish, but I do love large fish, and but it makes no sense really to have monster fish be a store, because you can't sell very many of them, and you don't make enough money to really make a living. Doesn't mean I don't love them. It just means that I don't think it's a good business model, right? It might be like owning a popsicle stand in Alaska or Antarctica. Like, it's not that popsicles are bad, but maybe it should be in Arizona instead of there, right? Kind of same thing, like monster fish do much better around like army and naval bases and college towns, just because in general, younger and more aggressive people lean towards a bigger fish. And where I'm at right now, we don't have that population. And when you study it, though, you see how it works and all of that. And yeah, there's a lot you got to know about business. Instead of just like liking fish, you really got to know demographics and stuff like that to be successful. And in general, words of wisdom I don't give out enough is the smaller the tank a fish can go in, the more people you can sell it to, right? If you have a red-tailed catfish, what's the minimum size tank really? 300 gallons? That's not big enough, but like really 300 gallons? Whereas like, okay, well, what's the smallest tank a neon tetra can go in? 10 gallon? So any customer that walks through the door, it's got a 10 gallon or more. Technically, if they were advanced enough and stuff like that, they could keep neon tetras. But if I have that same tank filled with red-tailed catfish, only people that come in with ponds and very big tanks do I even have the potential to sell to. Have I ever kept giant gouramis? Yes. I typically like the gold version or the albino version. And yeah, we had, my wife will know the name. We used to have it in a 100-gallon while I was growing up in our living room. What did we name that thing? It was pretty grumpy though. They get kind of aggressive long term. But no, definitely have, I'm not a big fan of the true giant gourami where that's typically what the gray ones are called. They're still cool, but I really like the pink, fleshy colored ones more as they get bigger. Am I saying Washington's full of old people? Not at all. Like if I was in Bellingham, for instance, college town, you have two demographics there. You're going to have people that younger and like aggressive stuff. You have that demographic, and then you also are going to sell to people in dorm rooms, right? So if they can live off of campus, they can buy these big fish tanks with big aggressive fish. But if they're on campus in a dorm, they're limited to 10 gallons. You got to cater to that. And so you have to know where you're putting your store and what the demographic will be to have any realm of success, right? So having a big African cichlid store when all your demographic is people in dorm rooms, you don't have that many different Africans. You've got Shelleys, you've got some of the Lamprologus and a few other species that can live in a 10, but all those other beautiful fish that people are going to want, really, they won't be able to fit into their dorm room, and so you're limiting yourself in a college town like that. So you really just got to, kind of think through where you're putting your store, what's the demographic. Like we chose where was the highest dollar per household, that's Edmonds in Washington, and then where was the highest capita of families. And typically, families want community tanks. They want to come in. They want to buy something every weekend. We want that repeat purchase. And that's the way we've set up, and it's done very well for us. Any good shrimp stores that sell Cardinia shrimp in Washington? The best place I could think of, and I haven't been there a long, long time, I would think Aquarium Zen would have some on hand. And then
Us.
Cardinia is going to be,
Cardinia.
Yeah, it's going to be like crystal shrimp and stuff. We don't sell those. I'm trying to think of who else, because there's going to be lots of stores that'll have some, but you gave the preface of good, and a good store would be breeding them and really keeping them. There's some other little new stores that I haven't been to that maybe I don't have a good recommendation because I don't want to just send you on a goose chase, right? So. Which one of you gave Corey the caffeine? Yeah, exactly. I've actually only been drinking water for the past few days, and I was running out of water. I was like, I can't do a live stream with nothing to drink. So then I grab a Diet Coke. Maybe that's going to be my secret weapon now. Oh, I'm live streaming? Let me grab a Diet Coke. Uh-oh. Is it Caradinia or Cardinia? It's probably whatever I didn't say. Back in my day, they were just crystal shrimp. And Neocardinia used to be, what do we call them before that? Or now they're, Davidii?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, Neocardinia, Davidii. They keep changing. But back in my day, they were just kind of cherry shrimp and crystal shrimp. And then you would never, so back at the beginning, when the shrimp wasn't nearly as popular, right? This is before I owned a store, before I even worked at a store. I never heard anyone else say the names. So you would just read them on Aquabid or eBay or a wholesale list, and you just, as an uneducated American like myself, I just guess. And then, yeah. Please grab a Diet Coke ad and say random. I don't know what that means, but it is Caradinia, people are saying. All right. First live stream? Well, welcome, D. Let's see. Not gonna lie, I kind of hate this. I have to build my ties in my app. My app is destroying me. I can't finish that stuff. It cuts it off there for me. So, give Jimmy a camera. Jimmy, what time did you get here earlier to film B-roll, Jimmy?
4.
Yeah. So Jimmy got here at 4. We're closing in on 10. He's had a long work day, and yeah, it's. You wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know that, like, 4 hours of B-roll, and that's just him waiting for a fish to come out and get a good shot so that it can be on screen for 3 seconds, and that's 15 different clips in an unboxing, and then he'll use some of that B-roll also in the thing we filmed tonight. Yeah. What is the best betta fish that will be the healthiest? I think plakat types that don't have long fins do the best. Well, wild caughts, actually, like strawberry bettas, alba marginata, and things like that. I think they are actually genetically the most robust, and they don't have long fins, so they're more agile and stuff like that. But yeah, I find them to do best, I think. All right, a couple more minutes and we're going, because that's going to be an hour, and it's 10 o'clock, and I still have a 40-plus minute drive home. So, how's Murphy? Murphy's chilling like a villain, for sure. Poor Jimmy. No.
I love my job.
Well, Jimmy just said he loved his job, but he was going to stay for 5 minutes, because I was like, hey, do you want to go? Like, I want to live stream. You've been working a long day. And, yeah, it's easier to work long hours when you enjoy it. It's not any less work. Like, I guarantee it is. I can't do Jimmy's job at the way he does it now. So I know that I couldn't edit day after day after day. Hey, we need a clip for Facebook. Hey, we need a clip for Instagram. Hey, we need this video. We need you to redo this part. I know I don't have the patience for that. I know I think I'd be very good at learning a new trick, implementing a new trick, and going, wow, I did it, and then wanting to move on. And Jimmy's got a patience level that I don't have when it comes to editing, of like getting it right and spending an absurd amount of time on a small part. And maybe it's, and I don't know, because I've never been in that position. I've always, in the YouTube career, I always had the store going, because the store came before YouTube. Not everybody knows that. A lot of people might assume we got popular on YouTube and then we opened a store. No. We were a store years before we were online. So I always kind of had to be brisk with it, of like, get it done, because I have real work to do. At the time, it was like, yeah, we're playing online and trying to grow, but I got to sleep. I got to go to the store. I got to order. I got to do taxes. I got to do all of this, right? And Jimmy's really been able to, like, is it a true statement, Jimmy, that when we originally hired you, you basically didn't know cameras?
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to do manual,
right.
Auto. Yeah.
So, over X amount of years, he's learned how to do a bunch of stuff, because it's been his job to, go get, as I try to encourage a lot of employees, like, learn your craft, right? We'll pay for you to learn, and it's, if you need to take a course, let's help you take that. We try to help with all of these things, because we know we get the benefit of it. If Jimmy gets better, our videos get better, right? If you get better at growing plants, our plants get better. All of these things. So, love the short of Joel coming through the wall. Jimmy was here on Tuesday filming walls come down. Like, probably spent, how many hours were you here for that? Just a couple?
No, not a couple. I think we started at 10, left at 3 or 4.
That's way more than a couple then.
Day, yeah.
Yeah, so 5 hours for what's going to be like 22 seconds in a video, probably. Yeah, it's some stuff is crazy like that, because you never know. Like, if that wall had exploded, we'd be so glad we got that footage. And if it's just like, oh, well, it was all right, right? And then you kind of get people that are stir crazy, and that's how you get that little short story where, aquariumcoop.com, because you're in the same room with someone working on it, busting through walls. Eventually you keep trying something might look good. All right. When am I bringing back the Madagascar lace plant? We've been looking for it. So, like, an example of that would have been a Pontigeton crispus, which Madagascar lace plant is a Pontigeton. We looked into wholesalers. Wholesalers like, we got tons, bro. And we go, great. We're going to start selling them. 2 weeks later, they're out. We literally sold through everything they had in like 2 weeks. So now we're waiting on replenishment, getting more going, and all of that. And that's the story of Aquarium Co-op. We're crushed by our own success a lot of the time, which is good and bad. Like, we'd much rather sell all of them than sell none. Like, there's no doubt there for sure. But it doesn't solve the problem of, like, you guys are sold out. Yep, we are. It sucks. When are you going to have an event in San Francisco? I don't know. It's definitely on the to-do list. We want to do kind of 2 of them in California. We're trying to get a show to go there, like a real show, like an Aquashella or something like that. Working on it. But we don't have, I don't have a date lined up for you. So I don't have good news. Who's got the best section of Cory cats I want to get? If you're local, probably us. Like, we're kind of ridiculous when it comes to Corridor catfish. If it's online, I'd probably the wet spot probably would be the best online selection. That's my guess. I don't necessarily go out and then survey and find who's got the best selection. Come visit Canada? Yeah, that's on the to-do list. It still blows my mind when I found out that Canada has less people than California. All of Canada together is less people than California. Kind of crazy. What's the plant that looks like an octopus in my tank? That would be Crinum calamastratum is probably what you're referring to. All right. Jimmy's not going to go home till I end, and now it's after 10 p.m., so I'm going to call it, and then you can all blame Jimmy, which is good for me. But I got videos I got to film tomorrow. I got work I got to do. I should go home and pet the dogs, too. Wincy update here, real critical. She went to the vet today because we noticed a lump on her. Turns out, just fatty tissue. We had a biopsy done, no cancer or anything like that, so we're super stoked. And, dogs get to fight. Not fight, that's the wrong word. I was going to get to live to fight another day, but, yeah, they get to be derpy another day. That's a better way to say it. Get to be derpy another day. When's the next live stream? Most likely, like, on a Tuesday, but I say that, but I remember telling someone Tuesday I can have a meeting with them. So it's always, the goal is always to do it on Tuesday, but some days I could be in a super bad mood, or I have a headache, or a bunch of stuff crops up and I just have to do meetings. It's always supposed to be Tuesdays, but if I can't do it then I try to fill it in. Like, that's why I'm doing this one. I was like, I should probably do one, right? And then typically Thursdays or Fridays at noon, we do a members-only live stream for an hour, maybe a little bit more. So if you're a member, you get to watch those ones. You get to we usually post and ask you for your questions ahead of time, and they have kind of longer, in-depth answers. And then at random, I stream on the Corey McElroy channel about business stuff. I'm on a roll. I think I've done 3 of them in the past 2 weeks. But then before that, I was a year without doing anything. So it just depends. What's my workload? Am I waiting on other stuff to finish? Did someone cancel an appointment, or am I just booked up? And as I know I'm traveling in 2 weeks, usually stuff starts getting more and more booked up because I got to get a bunch done because I'm away for a few days, and then I come back. So, all right. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Thanks to Candy and other people that helped mod and hang out. I know it's late, and people are working late just so we can make this happen. Not that, and I want to be clear, no one had to work late. I don't force that on anybody. They choose to. In fact, most often I encourage Jimmy to go home. I encourage Candy, like, you don't have to show up to live streams. We can handle it. We'll be fine. She likes to, though, and she likes to be a part of what we're doing, so I'm thankful for that. But do know that it is not a requirement by any means, and we try to keep it as low-key as we can for employees. So we'll see you guys maybe on Tuesday.
Watch Sundays.